And then here we are. So our NASA internships. So NASA internships, it's the chance for students to complete a research project under the guidance of a mentor at a NASA center. And this is for all majors. NASA, when you go onto their website, it's called Gateway, and we're going to take a look and see what internships are available. You can search through keywords, but you'll see there will be a range of opportunities. So if students ask, what kind of opportunities are there? It's really difficult to answer that question because there's hundreds, if not thousands, and they span across multiple majors. So I think sometimes they're looking for communications majors, they're looking for engineering majors, they're looking for business majors. So it isn't all just engineering or flight. NASA does need a huge community of people to continue working, and that includes all of our administrators, historians, artists, those with a master's of business administration. So many people and roles go into the work of NASA, and the internships do kind of showcase all of the work that goes in with all of the opportunities available. So if you go ahead and you do apply for a NASA internship, it could be that NASA sees your application, they're like, great, we're ready for this student. We're going to offer them a position. And if you get a position, that's awesome. That has happened before and that's common. But there also is the option if you apply to NASA and to the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium. So if you put in an application to NASA for your internship, and then also put in an application to us for internship funding and advocacy, once your application is reviewed through the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium, and if it is accepted, we will advocate for you to NASA centers. So if you apply, say, to Ames Research Center, and there is a position that you want, and you list that on your submittable application through the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium, and once your application is approved, I will take a look at your position, and I'll look at the position number, as well as where it's located. And then if it's at Ames, I will contact the Ames internship coordinator, and I will let them know. I'll say, hello, this student, her name is Alyssa, and she is from North Dakota. She put in an application to be funded by the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium. We've previewed her application. If you decide to choose Alyssa for this opportunity at Ames, please know the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium will fund her. So your application becomes kind of maybe like a little bit of a leg up, because you essentially come with funding and they will not have to find funding for you or take funding out of their budget. So that can be a pretty big advantage. We do advocate only for summer internships. Again, students are encouraged to pursue NASA internships independently of their own in the fall and spring. And the internships will span 10 weeks in the summer, 16 in the fall and spring. Internships can be part-time or virtual positions. Those will all be listed on the NASA website in the details. I do not have any additional details for you that what a specific internship will entail. It would be the mentor that would have to provide those details for you. And again, just like all internships, students are responsible for securing travel and our housing needs related to the internship. I know this can be quite a big barrier. If students are looking for funding, if you are requested by NASA to go get badged at a center or to move near the center for your internship, we do offer an additional $2,500 stipend for our students. And here are our rates. Excuse me. So if you're an undergraduate student, fall or spring, summer, you can see 1,300, 120, and then 8,200. Grad students, 15,840, and then 9,900. And here again, if you are required to be badged or intern in person, a $2,500 travel stipend will be added to your stipend. And your stipends are usually dispersed in 4 increments across your semester that you're interning. Here, again, students must be enrolled in a North Dakota Space Grant Consortium affiliate college or university, and this is if you're looking to be funded by the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium. Must be a US citizen, and for the NASA internships, you must have a minimum GPA of 3.0. This is NASA's rules, not the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium's. And then usually we do limit to 1 NASA internship supported by the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium per degree program. But as of fall 2024, we encourage you to pursue more than 1, and you could possibly be funded by more than 1. For the deadlines here, for summer 25 internships, So the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium application for internships for possible funding, that will open October 25th. And that application will close. Um, sorry. Sorry, this is, yeah. So October 25th, this is NASA's deadline. I'm sorry. So applications will open October 25th. So will the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium. And then applications for NASA interns do close February 28th, but our internal deadline is going to be February 1st, I believe. So I can change that right here. I don't want that to be confusing. And NASA, we have the applications closed here on February 1st, so I can continue to advocate for students up until they close on NASA's side at the end of February. But if you're looking for North Dakota Space Grant Consortium funding, please submit that North Dakota Space Grant Consortium application by February 1st. And then here, when you do apply on NASA's side, you will see this is the NASA internship, this is the STEM Gateway, is the website that you will register with for NASA, find all the opportunities that you are interested in for NASA internships, and they will go across all of the centers. And this is the landing page for an aeronautics at Ames Research Center position. And you can see, so registration date, it says 12/14/23. So, and I know this is, should say 2024, right? And it ends February 28th, 2025. So I'm not sure if students have to wait until December for some of these opportunities, or if this is just something that has been open the entire time. Um, I, uh, I'm not sure if anyone else has tried to register for an internship as of yet this year. I will take another look on the 25th when NASA's portal opens and see if everything is available. But this is my want to let you know that I saw this and that maybe the opportunities that you want to apply for NASA internships might not be open right away. So I would highly encourage you to continue checking back and forth at NASA STEM Gateway to see what opportunities are still available, which ones have just opened, or maybe ones that you want that have closed. So you're going to go ahead and when you apply for NASA Gateway, keep an eye on Gateway, see if your opportunities are open, see if you have to wait for them to open, see if they're going to be filled. Kind of something that you want to continue to monitor. So on your end, you will monitor the NASA STEM Gateway. If any of your opportunities close, so maybe the aeronautics position at Ames is closed, it has been filled, go ahead and update that submittable application, the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium application. We will keep it open for editing, so then you can go back into your application and update the positions that you want to apply for. And then therefore we know once you update which positions to continue advocating for you. Does anyone have any questions about the gateway or the rates or the NASA internships right now? I know that's a lot of information your way.
There's a question from here in the
Yes.
issue.
So I was just curious, applying to a NASA internship, if I go through you guys at NDSGC, do I still have to apply through the NASA STEM Gateway?
Absolutely. So it's a two-step process. We are only here for the funding. It is all on NASA's side to decide if you get the internship. We have no say in who NASA chooses for the internship. That is up to the mentors, and you will be competing with other students on a national level for those NASA internships. So you must secure a NASA internship and go through that STEM Gateway portal. And then if you are chosen, a mentor chooses you, and we have advocated for you, they will confirm. They'll say, hello, this student, I think before we said this student, Alyssa, has applied. And they'll say, North Dakota Space Grant Consortium, you offered to pay for this student and provide their internship stipend. Will you still please do that? And then we confirm, yes, we will. And then you move on from there. So you will absolutely have to go through Gateway. That is step number one. And then the optional step is to go through us for funding and then for us to advocate for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we have another question. To update the list on which posting we are applying to you, do we email you or is another form to fill out? Wesley, that's a great question. Thank you. You would go ahead and just update that North Dakota Space Grant Consortium submittable form that you had entered that you had submitted. So your submittable form through the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium will be open for editing, and you will continue to edit it. Students also do email me and say, hey, I saw maybe a position closed, or I updated my positions in submittable. I'm just letting you know. And please let us know. We'll be checking submittable, but then if you also want to confirm and email us, that is perfectly fine too. Okay, so here we are. Like we said, it's that two-step process. So step one, we need you to apply with NASA at that NASA STEM gateway. And that is you applying and letting NASA know, hey, I am ready for this internship. These are all the positions I want. You'll fill in that application. And I believe the application process to submit them to multiple internships, it's kind of like a copy paste situation right now. So you can apply to multiple internships through the NASA portal. I think it used to be a bit more difficult, but Gateway has improved over the years. So once you submit that application to NASA and you let us know, you record the positions you applied for, you tell us, you record the location, the title of the internship, and the position number. And you'll have that all in maybe an Excel file for yourself. And then the next step would to be apply for us through the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium. And the benefits of applying also with the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium, where you share what positions you applied for and let us know a little bit about yourself and why you want to be a NASA intern. We'll review that application, and if it's accepted on our end, we will advocate for you. So here, if step three, if we accept your application to advocate for you, we will continue to maintain contact through email and submittable. And then we'll be able to advocate for you. So again, if you'll end up seeing that one position that you really wanted was filled, I definitely advise you to find another position and to apply for almost as many positions as you can. Sometimes students will apply only for one position, and then maybe that position ends up being taken by someone else. I would highly advise anyone that applies through the Gateway system or any NASA internship in general, apply for multiple internships, multiple tries in one session, not just one. And when NASA interns, mentors do go through that NASA STEM gateway and they're looking at potential interns, please know that sometimes they will just call you or they will email you. So when you give your contact information to NASA and when you give your contact information to us, please make sure that it's the email that you are checking. Your school email is preferred. And please make sure that you also have a phone number that someone, if they try calling, will be able to reach you if possible. Earlier this, I believe it was this past summer, a NASA internship position, it wasn't filled. And I think it was the day, either like the day the NASA internships closed, that mentor was still looking for someone, and he messaged, I think, 3 or 4 different interns, and the first one that responded got the internship. So I think sometimes it gets down to the wire and they are really looking for people and they're trying to find people fast. So keep an eye out on your communications, whether it's through your phone, texting, or a phone call, as well as your email, because someone may be trying to connect with you to find out a little bit more about you and see if they would like to have you as their intern. And then here we can go to that internship landing page, similar to the industry internships. Here we have our NASA internships. So this is the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium landing pages. Lots of opportunities you can take a look at on this website. Here we have our funding for grad students, undergrads, and then our travel stipends. And then again, our eligibility, you must be enrolled in a North Dakota Space Grant Consortium affiliate college or university, be a U.S. citizen, and have a minimum 3.0 GPA for the NASA internships. And again, we are open to supporting more than one NASA internship this time as of fall 2024. And then here we've got our applications to NASA. They will start opening on the 25th, if not a little bit later, and then close February 28th. So I will be advocating for all of you. So if you will send that application February 2nd, and then I will advocate for students throughout that month of February, and we can continue to work together to see what positions are filled and what new positions you'd like us to advocate for up until the 28th. And then here we have that two-step process. So here, step one, you will apply with NASA, and this will take us to that NASA gateway where you do have to register, but you will be able to take a look. There are internships, pathway internships, which are not part of us, but I've heard students have really wonderful experiences with that. So then you can check out the opportunities here. And then once you're done with the NASA portal here in Gateway and you've found your opportunities, you've logged in, you've applied for multiple opportunities. I think you can apply for up to 15 at one time. And then from there, you'll record, like I said, you'll take a look at that, the location of the internship you applied, the number for the internship, and then the title for the internship. And then you'll take that information and apply with us, the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium. And once you apply with us, that is the opportunity for someone to advocate for you on your behalf and then also support you with funding. So again, if we're supporting you with funding, it would be an kind of a leg up on your application because NASA does not have to find funds and your mentor does not have to find funds. We have the funds ready for you. So we can see maybe this application preview will open for us a little bit faster. So this here will take us to submittable. We'll see if it loads. Submittable, you do have to register. You have to register one time. All of the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium applications do go through submittable. So I'll give it a few moments here to load. Does anyone have any questions in the meantime?
There's a question from NDSU.
Yes.
I was just wondering, so if do the positions kind of get filled over time, or do they wait until like February, after February? Like, is there a best time to apply, or?
That's a great question. The best time to apply is right away because the positions will get filled. So, say maybe Ames is going to release their positions and then kind of like filled, like first come, first serve, essentially. So, I would highly advise everyone October 25th, when that portal opens on NASA, take a look, register, find where you want to apply. Then submit that submittable application as well. And you can let us know. You can say, hey, Tori, I attended that webinar. Like, I'm in it for the long run. Like, let's find me and has the internship this year, and we can stay in constant communication. So, if those positions that you wanted were filled, make sure you go find a different one. Let us know, and then we can make sure to advocate for you continuously for multiple positions.
Yeah. Do you have an estimate of how many positions there are?
So for the entire NASA, I think NASA each year has about maybe 1,500 interns. So 1,500 positions would be available. And then, so there would be, I guess, like up to 1,500 choices for you essentially. And I believe you can apply for up to 12 at a time. Cheyenne, do you recall how many you can apply for at a time?
You can apply for up to 15, I believe.
15. Okay. And then,
Yeah.
yep, you're also, thank you, Cheyenne. You're also to let us know, like, hey, these are the 15 I applied for. And each time you update it, we'll be able to see that in submittable. And you can also let us know through email too. And then I usually go through and I'll keep a record as well about students and what positions have been kind of I've advocated for them, and then maybe what positions are closed. I also, on my end, try to make sure that I don't advocate, of course, for a position that has been filled too.
I have something to add to that.
Yeah.
For the amount of positions, my first internship, um, because I was funded by the space grant, my mentor was able to have me, and then because he had funding for like four people, he was able to have basically four plus me. So the space
Yeah.
grant funding can also mean you can be just added as like an extra, not quite extra, but kind of extra to a mentor that's willing to take you.
Awesome. Thank you for that insight, Cheyenne. Yeah, so I think the fact that like they don't have to search for that funding is a pretty big advantage for a lot of interns. And like just Cheyenne said, it sounds like you were got like kind of like a bonus position, right? Like it was a paid for, you're almost like a free intern for them, and they snagged Cheyenne. And Cheyenne, you were asked to return. Have you done 2 or 3 internships with NASA now?
I've done 2 summer internships now. This previous summer or this previous spring, I had applied to about like 11 or 12 positions, most at the Cleveland, sorry, the Glenn Research Center,
Mhm.
because that's where I entered 2 summers ago. And then one of the branch managers from the first summer I worked there reached out, was like, "Hey, I see you're applying to another internship. What are you thinking?" And because I was funded through the space grant, he didn't have to find funding for me, just a mentor.
Excellent. Yeah. So I think a lot of these mentors will see, like, they know what Space Grant is. I think they recognize a lot of students, and the students often, like, even just the North Dakota students that we've sent, a lot of students have completed more than one internship through NASA, and often they're consecutive. Or sometimes we've had students that have gone in the fall, then they were asked to return for the spring, and then maybe the following fall they're asked to return again. So this is a really wonderful opportunity, I think, to find a mentor at NASA and make that connection. And then hopefully, like, either you end up, I mean, fingers crossed, with a position at NASA, right, in the future, but also possibly a mentor at NASA, which is fantastic. And I know a lot of students say that when they go into their interviews for positions, the first thing that they're often asked about on their from their resume is their NASA internship if they've had one. I think that's a really like a big talking point in interviews. They're going to ask you, like, wow, like, you intern at NASA, tell us about it. And from there, I'm sure you guys will have a lot to share. Anything else, Cheyenne, that you can think of?
On the funding side, not a lot. Some mentors don't quite know about the space grant funding,
Mhm.
meaning that like NASA doesn't uh pay directly. Um, but nothing more on like the funding and getting in touch with your mentor side, really.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? And we've had a number of students, including Cheyenne, that have gone through internships. We have a couple of students from NDSU each year, which is really exciting. We have another student from the Chicana Community College being funded this fall. So students across the state. And we're really excited to fund you guys. We're super proud to send North Dakota students to NASA. Last summer, I think we sent 15 students from North Dakota, and I think we think about you guys throughout the summer. We hope you're doing well. We touch base with you. And a lot of students that end up with internships often go on to continue funding through the North Dakota Space Grant Consortium with, like, fellowships or mini grants or multiple NASA internships. And right here, this is that application. Again, we're just asking for contact information and then demographic information for NASA as well. And there also is the option prefer not to say. And then asking you where you're enrolled. In the summer, sometimes students are enrolled in a credit, sometimes they are not. Both are acceptable. Ask again a little bit about your background in school. And then here, this is where you want you to let us know. And you'll just click this. It'll be like a pop-out box for you. And you'll let us know the position number, the name, and where it is. And if for any reason you have trouble with this file or the application or updating your internships, do not hesitate to email us or let us know. And we're happy to assist. And then we do like to see your resume, kind of see where you're going, what your plans are, and your experience. And then we'll ask for an unofficial transcript as well, just to prove that you have a 3.0 GPA. And I have come across, there was a intern coordinator, I believe, at Kennedy Space Center. And I said, is there any way, like, we can make sure we get more North Dakota interns for you? What can we do to make sure to connect you with our interns? And he asked for me to send resumes. So this individual wanted to kind of take a look at resumes and then just kind of cold call students and seeing what the students wanted and what they were envisioning for a NASA internship, and then seeing if he could align and find them a position at Kennedy. So if you do upload your resume and apply through us, make sure that your resume is updated and professional and has your contact information on it. And then here, we will ask you, hey, let us know, what do you think makes you a good candidate for a NASA internship? And students will tell us about their goals, a lot about maybe what first initially made them interested in NASA, which is usually some an inspiration from when they were younger, which is always exciting to read about. But please let us know, like, please put in like some good thoughts into this question as well. And I believe NASA will also ask this question sometimes, and then a lot of the time students will say, I've always wanted to work for NASA, and then that's it. So it's like only one sentence, and it's difficult to advocate or kind of find to see like what space fits you best if we don't know what really kind of drives you. If you do have any questions, again, please let us know. But when we do ask what makes you a good candidate for a NASA internship, let us know. Brag about yourself. Maybe your mentors at your school have things to add too. And I hope is that you can print this application out. And if you want, share it with someone at your school, share it with a friend. If they have any other ideas of what like remind you of why you make a good candidate for a NASA internship. Maybe they can assist you and give you some pointers as well and some ideas as to if you forget why you're so amazing. So with that, does anyone have any questions about the NASA internships or industry internships? We can see here we funded lots of students the past few years here. Okay, well, I will stop sharing